evening. You're watching News at 10. I'm Jessica Lee. Making the headlines tonight. Closer federal and Sarawak relations under unity government. Higher tourist arrivals expected under new government. The relations between the federal and Sarawak governments will definitely be closer and strengthened under the unity government, according to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Now, in a post on his Facebook and Twitter accounts today, Datuk Seri Anwar said that he received a courtesy call from the Premier of Sarawak, who is also the chairman of Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS, Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, with his entourage at his home this morning. He said the Gabungan Parti Sarawak, or GPS, is one of the main pillars besides Barisan Nasional, Parti Warisan and also Gabungan Rakyat Sabah, GRS, which form the unity government that he leads. The GPS, a coalition of 4 Sarawak parties comprising Parti Pesaka Bumiputra Bersatu, or PBB, Parti Rakyat Bersatu Sarawak, SUPP, Parti Rakyat Sarawak, PRS, and Parti Demokratik Progresif, PDP, won 23 of the total 31 parliamentary seats in Sarawak in the recently concluded 15th general election. Datuk Seri Anwar, at a media conference on his first day after taking over the Prime Minister's office at Perdana Putra in Putrajaya yesterday, said the unity government under his leadership has achieved 2/3 majority of the Dewan Rakyat, with the latest participation by GRS. Now, PAS will not be part of the unity government led by Pakatan Harapan, PH and DAP, said its Secretary General, Datuk Seri Taqiyuddin Hassan. He said the decision was reached after the party considered the matter from various angles and took into account public opinion on the matter. Elaborating further on the matter through a statement released today, the party's Secretary General said PAS will continue to act as a constructive opposition by advising all parties to ensure that the governance of the country runs smoothly and can be upheld based on the principles of caring, clean and stable. Now, yesterday, Datuk Seri Taqiyuddin said that the Islamic Party would need to discuss the matter with other Perikatan Nasional or PN component parties and consider its voters' views before reaching a consensus. PN Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said PN would not be accepting Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim's offer to join the government. Instead, he said the coalition would carry out a check and balance role in the Dewan Rakyat. Pahang Pakatan Harapan PH has unanimously agreed to form a state government with Barisan Nasional BN. Its chairman, Datuk Seri Amiruddin Shari, said in a statement that the decision was reached at a meeting that he chaired today. Elaborating further on the matter, Datuk Seri Amiruddin expressed hope that the new Pahang state government following the 15th general election can be formed to ensure that the administration of the state government runs smoothly for the benefit of the people. The 16 and 8 state seats secured by BN and PH respectively in GE15 have passed the simple majority of 22 seats required to form the state government. Perikatan Nasional PN obtained 17 seats, which led to a hung state assembly as no party commanded a simple majority. The polling for the Tioman seat was postponed to the 7th of December due to the death of PN candidate Muhammad Yunus Ramli 61 on voting day 19th of November, believed to be due to a heart attack. However, the results of the Tioman state seat will not allow any party to obtain a simple majority. Pakatan Harapan PH candidate for the Tioman state seat, Muhammad Fazli Muhammad Ramli, is ready to make way for Barisan Nasional BN candidate Datuk Seri Muhammad Johari Hussein if directed by the coalition's top leadership. Muhammad Fazli said the matter had been discussed at the PH Presidential Council level, taking into account the current political situation at the Central and Pahang State Assembly level, but no decision had been made so far. The 15th general election results saw BN winning 16 seats in Pahang, 1 seat behind Perikatan Nasional PN, while PH secured 8 seats, which resulted in a hung state assembly as no party or coalition obtained a simple majority of 22 seats. Now, even though he is ready to make way, Muhammad Fazli wants the BN candidate to give assurance that he will solve the problems faced by the Tioman Islanders, especially involving water, land and infrastructure. However, Muhammad Fazli said that he has yet to meet Datuk Sri Muhammad Johari, who is the incumbent Tioman Assemblyman, to discuss the matter. Now, polling for the Tioman state seat for GE15 was postponed following the death of PN candidate Muhammad Yunus Ramli on polling day. Apart from Muhammad Fazli and Datuk Sri Muhammad Johari, other candidates vying to win the Tioman state seat are PN candidate Nur Idayu Hashim, Osman A. Bakar of Pejuang and Independent Sulaiman Bakar. The Sultan of Selangor, Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, has urged graduates to apply the 5th principle of the Rukun Negara, courtesy and morality, when communicating on social media. His Royal Highness also reminded the graduates not to make excessive comments that are slanderous, overtly offensive or insulting.
Janganlah sampai memberi komen-komen terlaluan yang mengeluarkan ayat-ayat berunsur fitnah, cacian dan hasad dengki. Kerana jika berlaku, ia boleh merosakkan pemikiran masyarakat, khususnya generasi muda.
His Highness said this when officiating at University Putra Malaysia's or UPM's 46th convocation in Serdang today. Sultan Sharafuddin, who is UPM Chancellor, also urged the graduates and prospective alumni to continue the synergy with UPM's alma mater as a sign of gratitude for the sacrifices made by the university's staff in realizing their success. Expressing his confidence in the quality of UPM's education, Sultan Sharafuddin said he was confident that the graduates had been well guided by lecturers through a transformative academic system. A total of 6,092 graduates will receive their scrolls at the convocation being held at the Dewan Besar Pusat Kebudayaan dan Kesenian Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah, UPM, from today until the 2nd of December. A man was killed in a landslide incident in Blue Valley, Kampong Raja, Cameron Highlands this afternoon. Now, Pahang Fire and Rescue Department Deputy Director of Operations Ismail Abdul Ghani said that the department received a call about the incident involving the 37-year-old victim at 12:54 p.m. In a statement today, Ismail said firefighters from the Cameron Highlands Fire Station along with 2 fire engines were immediately deployed to the scene. He said upon arrival, it was found that a landslide had hit the area involving a backhoe driver who was carrying out earthworks. Now, the buried victim was removed by firefighters before being handed over to the police for further action. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, or MMEA, seized a local fishing boat and detained its skipper, along with 6 foreign crew members, for illegally fishing in Labuan waters yesterday. Labuan Maritime Zone Director Captain Nudin Juso said the agency's KM Bistari patrol boat detected a local fishing boat engaged in fishing activities at 31.2 nautical miles from Labuan. Commenting further on the matter, Captain Nudin said on inspection, it was found that the crew, comprising 5 Vietnamese nationals and an Indonesian, were fishing for sea cucumbers using unauthorized equipment. He said the undocumented foreigners aged between 20 and 44 years old, along with the skipper, have been detained. He added that the case is currently being investigated under the Fisheries Act 1985 for trespassing and fishing in Malaysian waters without permission and the Immigration Act 1959-1963 for failure to produce valid identification documents. The Maritime Zone Director further urged the maritime community to cooperate in curbing criminal activities by making a complaint through the MERS 999 line or the Labuan Maritime Operations Centre. said foreign worker recruitment allowed in land warehousing subsector. Tourism Malaysia is expecting a surge in tourist arrivals, especially from ASEAN and European countries, under the leadership of the new government. Tourism Malaysia's Domestic and Event Division Senior Director Iskandar Mirza Muhammad Yusof said, for now, the agency will continue with all the plans that have been arranged, such as encouraging domestic tourism and holding international promotions. At the same time, Iskandar Mirza said they will continue organizing physical exhibitions while also noting that the resumption of international flights to Malaysia, such as KLM and Turkish Airlines, also had a positive impact on tourist arrivals. Meanwhile, Iskandar Mirza, who is also Tourism Malaysia's Deputy Director of Planning, expects that over 1 million ringgit could be generated from the 3-day Jom Cuti Cuti Malaysia 2022 roadshow, which started today. He added that tourism receipts in 8 previous events, including in Perak, Negeri Sembilan, Kuala Lumpur, Kelantan and Johor, were very encouraging, amounting to 8.03 million ringgit. He said in Malacca, 30 industry players comprising product operators, travel agencies, hotels and theme parks are participating in the roadshow to offer tour packages, accommodation and entry tickets at a special price. Now, Johor's tourism sector is expected to continue to grow with a target of attracting 5 million international visitors to the state next year. Now, State Tourism Environment, Heritage and Culture Committee Chairman K. Raven Kumar said his confidence is based on the fact that so far this year, Johor has already received 2.8 million international visitors compared to its target of 1.5 million, with some of the main tourist destinations being Desaru, Kota Tinggi and Iskandar Puteri. He said that most of the foreign tourists are from Singapore, India and the Philippines, and the state government will continue to attract more tourists whilst working to double the number of tourists next year.
Tapi kita dah capai 2.8 million up to now. So ini menunjukkan there's a nearly 100% increment of tourist visitor to Johor and Negeri Johor. Tarikan utama ialah Desaru dan Iskandar Puteri. Iskandar Puteri. Ini figure ialah belum masuk lagi China dengan border dia tutup lagi. Kalau China lain kali ada, saya rasa dia merangsangkan lagi.
The Raven also hopes that the Johor and federal governments will continue to work closely to promote the country's tourism industry. He said this to reporters when met at the Johor Speed Fest 2022 at RNF Marina, Johor Bahru today. The Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Al-Marhum Sultan Iskandar, launched both the Johor Speed Fest and the Johor Yacht and Recreation Club at the RNF Marina. The Human Resources Ministry, or KSM, today announced the employment of foreign workers for the land warehouse subsector. Now, in a statement, KSM said this is in line with the decision of the Joint Committee meeting between the Home Minister and Minister of Human Resources on the management of foreign workers on the 18th of July. KSM also said that the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry, KPD and HEP, as the regulatory agency for the wholesale and retail subsector, also agreed to expand the conditions or criteria for the eligibility of foreign worker employment quotas under the subsector to retail traders with a floor area space of less than 2,500 square meters. Accordingly, KSM said a new quota application for the employment of foreign workers for both subsectors has been open, and applications can be made by employers on the website as shown on the screen. Now, KSM said further inquiries can be made through KSM's Migrant Worker Management Division and its email. Inquiries can also be made by contacting the regulatory agency, which is the Trade Logistics Unit, Strategic and International Planning Division of the Ministry of Transport. Now, inquiries for the wholesale and retail subsector, meanwhile, can be made through the KPD and HEP's Distributive Trade and Services Industry Secretariat. Datum Corporation International Sdn Bhd intends to attract more coffee shops or kiosks to open their business at Datum Jelatik Shopping Centre, which opened its doors to the public today. Its Chief Executive Officer, Muhammad Azmi Abdul Shukur, said this is in line with the current trend and demand of most city dwellers who make coffee consumption part of their lifestyle, thus making the mall a standout among the others. Muhammad Azmil stressed that just as there are malls known as gadget and technology hubs, the new mall is hoped to cater as a haven for coffee lovers.
Kita juga sedang berusaha untuk jadikan Datum Shopping Centre ini adalah center untuk kopi, penggemar kopi. Jadi kita juga akan menjemput insyaAllah entrepreneur, pengusaha-pengusaha daripada kaum muda juga untuk datang dan ambil kios space di dalam kita punya mall untuk jual kopi.
Muhammad Azmil said the mall offers 7 leading coffee brands and plans to lease over 30 spaces to coffee shop operators, including small and medium enterprises, within the first 3 months. The shopping centre, which caters to residents of Jelatik, Kerana, Setia and Ampang, aims to attract some 50,000 visitors per month. Datum Jelatik Shopping Centre was developed by Datum Corp, a wholly owned subsidiary of Selangor State Development Corporation, or PKNS. It offers various brands including daily necessities, personal care products, technology, electronic devices and restaurants. Around a dozen missing in landslide on Italian island. That and more coming up in our foreign segment. Now, a deadly fire in China's northwest Xinjiang region has spurred an outpouring of anger at the country's zero-COVID policy as Beijing fights growing public fatigue over its hardline approach to containing the coronavirus. 10 people were killed and 9 injured when the blaze ripped through a residential building in the regional capital, Urumqi, on Thursday night. A wave of anger simmered on the Weibo social media platform amid claims that parked electric vehicles left without power during lengthy lockdowns blocked fire engines from entering a narrow road to the burning building. Now, online posts circulating on both Chinese and overseas social media platforms since Friday have claimed that lengthy COVID lockdowns in the city hampered rescue attempts. Now, some videos appear to show crowds of people taking to the streets of Urumqi to protest against the measures. The action comes against a backdrop of mounting public frustration over the government's zero-tolerance approach to COVID and follows sporadic protests in other cities. Now, China is the last major economy wedded to a zero-COVID strategy, with authorities wielding snap lockdowns, lengthy quarantines and mass testing to snuff out new outbreaks as they emerge. Around a dozen people were missing on the Italian holiday island of Ischia after a landslide caused by heavy rain engulfed some buildings. The Italian Fire Brigade tweeted that a rainstorm that started at 12 p.m. caused flooding and landslides on the island. Searches are underway for any missing people in Casamicchiola Terme, one of the 6 small towns of Ischia, a volcanic island in the Tyrrhenian Sea, about 30 kilometers from Naples. The fire brigade did not provide details on the missing people and mentioned difficulties in reaching the island with motorboats and helicopters due to bad weather. It also said a car was dragged into the sea and the 2 occupants were rescued. An official of Italy's Civil Protection said that the young child was among the missing, adding that families in danger were being evacuated. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni said she was in close contact with the Civil Protection Minister Nelo Musumeci, the Civil Protection Department and the Campania region to follow the evolution of the wave of bad weather that has hit Ischia. Now, she said the government expresses its closeness to the citizens and mayors of the municipalities on the island of Ischia and thanks the rescuer engaged in the search for the missing. Incumbent Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev was sworn in for a second term in office today. Now, during the inauguration ceremony, he promised to serve the people of Kazakhstan, strictly follow the constitution and laws of the country, guarantee the rights and freedoms of citizens, and faithfully perform the high duties of the president. The ceremony took place at the Palace of Independence in Astana and was attended by First President of Kazakhstan Nursultan Nazarbayev, members of the government and the parliament, the diplomatic corps accredited in the country, and representatives of the public. According to the Kazakh law, if a head of state is elected in an early election, the oath is taken within a month after the voting results are released. Tokayev was sworn in on the fourth day after the announcement of the results. Kazakhstan held an early presidential election on the 20th of November. 6 people were registered as presidential candidates, including the incumbent head of state, Tokayev. He has been widely expected to extend his rule by 7 more years, with a strong mandate to continue his increasingly independent foreign policy. He won the election with 81.31% of votes, with a total turnout reaching 69.44%. Coming up in sport, Ziliang bags another goal in diving Grand Prix. National men's diver Ui Ziliang produced another big splash as he bagged his second gold medal, now this time with his partner Chiu Yiwei in the men's synchronized 3-meter springboard in the International Swimming Federation or FINA Diving Grand Prix in Kuala Lumpur today. The duo came out tops with 382.11 points in the finals at the National Aquatic Centre, Bukit Jalil. Vladimir Rudenko and Lachlan Cronin from Australia took silver with 360.12 points, while the Egyptian pair of Mohammad Farouk and Muhammad Noman earned bronze with 327.63 points.
Everything going well, very consistent. Just a little bit of not high quality enough for certain dive, but it's acceptable. Because both of us, we need to manage, we need to separate our time for our university study and training.
I think yesterday also very good, so today sama bagus.
Now, yesterday, Ziliang emerged as the men's 3-meter springboard champion with his season best of 441.35 points, while Yiwei amassed 406.9 points for the silver. Now, Cronin took bronze with 402.2 points. Moving on to football news, Raphael Varane is ready to return to action for France's World Cup clash with Denmark after more than a month out with a leg injury. Varane was left out of the holders' 4-1 stroll in their Group D opener against Australia, but coach Didier Deschamps said he was fit to play before that match and could feature at the 974 Stadium later at midnight. Deschamps said the decision to let Varane play was made following discussions with the Manchester United defender. Varane's availability is a boost for Deschamps, who has lost a host of key players in the lead-up to and during the World Cup in Qatar. Now, France arrived without Paul Pogba, N'Golo Kante, stars of their 2018 World Cup triumph, and Presnel Kimpembe. Striker Karim Benzema and Lucas Hernandez were then forced to quit Qatar with injury. However, France looked strong in their opening match and will secure qualification with a game to spare if they beat Denmark.
Ça, je vous confirme, je l'ai dit plusieurs fois qu'elle était sous-cotée par rapport à sa valeur réelle. Pas mal de temps, c'est pas tant de temps que ça, c'est l'espace de 4 mois, puisqu'on l'a déjà joué entre juin et septembre. Et elle nous a fait des misères, beaucoup de misères. Donc c'est de faire en sorte que on inverse la tendance demain, sans parler de revanche ou quoi que ce soit.
Meanwhile, Denmark coach Kasper Hjulmand said he has no fears about facing World Cup holders France, having twice beaten them in the Nations League this year.
So we are prepared for a great match. I have great respect for France, but we also know how strong we are, and we've just tested them a couple of times. And obviously, this is a new tournament, a bigger tournament, and another scene.
Hjulmand also said if the players play their very best in the match, the team would have a chance of getting a good result against France. The Danes drew goalless with Tunisia in their opening game, but no positive result against France at Stadium 974 will leave them well placed in Group D before playing Australia in their final match. The Euro 2020 semi-finalists Denmark defeated France home and away in the Nations League and arrived in Qatar as one of the pre-tournament's dark horses. The two teams also met in the group stage at the last World Cup, playing out the only goalless draw 4 years ago in Russia. Now, Argentina will seek to save their World Cup skins in Qatar tomorrow morning when Lionel Messi and his teammates face Mexico in a match they cannot afford to lose. A stunning 2-1 defeat to Saudi Arabia has left Argentina, who arrived in Doha on a 36-match unbeaten run and as one of the overall favourites in a precarious position. The Argentines said they will draw on memories of superstar Diego Maradona, their 1986 World Cup winning captain who died 2 years ago this week, to inspire them against the Mexicans. The Argentines know they cannot afford a repeat of their opening match in Group C and are hoping to restore their status as one of the tournament's favourites against goal-shy Mexico. Now, to that end, coach Lionel Scaloni said that Lionel Messi is fit and ready to play despite reports of a possible ankle injury, and that he believes his squad has what it takes to rebound from their opening defeat.
Cuando recibís una piña, 2, 3, lo único que hay que hacer es levantarse. Y este grupo está capacitado para levantarse, no tenemos ninguna duda de eso.
Duro. ¿Y por dónde crees que va a pasar la...
And that concludes this evening's News at 10. In our top story, closer federal and Sarawak relations under unity government. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Jessica Lee. Thank you for watching. Good night.